Go Norm, bowl at 300, please. And they're begging. Nobody would like that more than Norm Duke on your left, Bob Learn Jr. in the middle, and another junior, Patrick Healey Jr., originally from Niagara Falls, New York, now living in Mexico City with his lovely wife, Teresa, who's in the audience, the 31-year-old.
Patrick is a really solid shot maker, much in the same class as Tim Chris, except he gets a little more hand into it, but just up there and relentless at good balance and great shots. And that's as good as it gets right there.
You know, and you're also talking about a guy that has tons and tons of international experience, much like Mika Koivuniemi.
Yes.
Wow.
That's good.
Yeah.
The big fin.
Norm with a solid 10.
Ranked 4th in the PBA right now, Norm Duke. And here is Bob Learn Jr. Cast for only the 2nd time this year. Did it last week in Wichita, finishing 2nd.
There was a child over there moving around, distracted Bob a little bit. And I think what we're going to see, Bob's going to try and play in the lanes a lot like Norm, except he's going to be throwing the ball. A little different from Norm's nice, relaxed swing.
Starting way over to the right. Let's take a closer look at Norm Duke.
We're going to watch Norm start. We're going to watch his right foot and his right elbow right there. That is a very common thing that you see amongst great players. You put your feet and your swing in sync by doing that, folks.
Something I'm going to go home and practice.
2, 4, 5, 8 bucket.
I got to do something.
Hard and straight. As they say in Japan, that was the speed ball.
That was the heater.
Well, Bob Learn, no matter what happens now in this match, he will go for $1 million in career earnings.
Nice to see Bob bowling well again. He struggled all year, making back-to-back telecasts.
Patrick Healey Jr. That's the way to open things up. You know, what was impressive is in the positioning around the last game last night, he bowled a 277. Talk about just standing up, and he moved up in the standings and took over that #2 seed.
Normal left lane. We'll see the same little fudge shot right up the gutter. He didn't like something. We're seeing a lot of those rookies today, Randy.
Yeah, well, believe me, I can understand why.
Well, as soon as he let it go, his reaction was not very good. You could see him already turning.
Trying to get that to about the 3rd board. It started on the 5th board, had no chance. Fortunate to get a strike.
Well, just when you think Bob Learn was doing well, on Monday after he got home from Wichita, was involved in a car wreck. And let's take a look at his form.
We're going to watch Bob. He just gets the ball started, runs past the ball, gets up there and throws it. But I tell you what, he's got a knack for throwing strikes. More than 6,300 games in his life.
Yeah, and he's no stranger to throwing it right up the rail either.
Patrick to take an early 20-pin lead.
Well, he really wanted to concentrate, gentlemen, on his knee bend. He said he wanted to project the ball long today. Why don't you explain that, Randy, first?
Well, you can see that on that shot there, he didn't project it near as long as he wanted. And what happens is when you don't project it on that left lane especially, the ball's going to go high. This week was definitely a week, and I think Brian will agree, that you had to project the ball right when the lane started to hook.
Yeah, no question. Oh, little trip 4 there. Thank you very much.
That was nice. The ball bit just a little bit too hard off the gutter, and then all of a sudden set up right in front of the head pin and trip 4.
Here's something that
I'm sorry, Brian. Here's something Mr. Voss has done enough times in his career.
Way out to the 2 board, hooks back. He knew it was going to be a little high. Just trip the 4, baby, he says, and he does. Oh, yeah.
Great reaction. And here is Bob Learn. Said on Monday when he got back home in Erie, it was raining. A young man ran a stoplight, hit his driver's side, hurt his left leg, his left thigh, and of course next week, Bob Learn defending his U.S. Open title. Right now there's a battle. 1 pin.
All 3 players. Anybody's game right now. Patrick doing a little work down there.
I think the key here is you've got 2 guys that are playing, they're throwing the darts right up the edge, and then you've got 1 guy that's hooking it. And to be honest, I mean, I think the straight shot is the one that's going to work. I just think the left lane there's too much trouble when you hook it.
Just the 4-pin. What Randy was saying, you know, us pros out here on tour, we look for what we call margin of error. How can I roll the ball that's going to give me the maximum margin of error? How can I miss right or miss left and still have an opportunity to strike? And I think that's the way Norm plays this game. A little bit differently than a lot of guys.
Well, experience does have a factor. That's something Patrick Healey brought up to us last night, saying when he knows he's on TV, you have to understand the lanes, which is exactly what you're talking about, and you have to think constantly.
Well, a lot of it is anticipation. Every time you roll that bowling ball, lane changes.
Well, so much has gone right for Norm Duke. What went wrong on this show, Randy?
Well, Brian, to me it looks like he just gets a little fast here.
Yeah.
And the ball just never turned over down the lane. Very lucky he didn't leave the bucket.
Very lucky you made that spare.
Yeah, absolutely. A little close.
All right, close match. Bob Learn actually can take an 12-pin lead with a strike here.
Well, he was 20th heading into match play, but he's got so much confidence coming off last week in Wichita.
Soft 10, you can hit it.
They're going to get it?
You know, I think the thing that's important here is, you know, the lane conditions that we bowled on all week, and especially today, is unlike anything the folks at home are bowling on. I mean, this is stuff here where you've got to make really, really good shots out of your hand. You have to duplicate shots, and you have to hit what you're looking at. I mean, these are the greatest in the world, and you can see what's happening when they don't make a good shot.
Yeah. And I think you also had to play the lanes a lot of different ways this week. Generally speaking, guys were either doing what Bob and Norm are doing, right in the gutter, or inside really hooking the ball.
Right, and from one game to the next, they would do that.
Yeah.
Actually, sometimes during the game, start out trying to hook it. That doesn't work. You find yourself in a hole, and all of a sudden you move to your B game, which may be throwing it straight hard up the gutter, and you bail the game out. That went on all week long.
Patrick Healey, whose best finish this year, 5th at the TPC in Akron. He's keeping pace with everybody. He's only down by 2 pins.
It's a tight match.
Duke, our leader, or I should say Bob Learn, our leader. Duke just a pin down.
All working on spares. Strike is just to set up the next strike. A little bit high, but he's happy.
He's still not satisfied.
Well, you know, when you have as much talent as Norm does, you're always striving for perfection. Not that Brian and I don't, because we always do, but you know, this guy's got lots of talent, can do anything he wants to a bowling ball, and he's looking to win.
Well, Bob Learn Jr. conquers the left lane, at least on that frame. We've got a battle in our match here in Tucson. When we return, more action.